Hey, what's up guys, Theo here, back with another Injustice 2 tutorial. And in this tutorial, what I want to do is I want to discuss the concept on how frame data isn't always the end-all be-all in counter-poking scenarios. Now I know that sounds vague, I know it sounds kind of convoluted, but when I give you guys some concrete examples, by the end of this video, hopefully it'll be clear as day. So, two characters that I think work really well in presenting this are Black Adam and Swamp Thing. So let me go ahead and get right into it. So Black Adam's down one is 6 frames. So it's a really fast poke. It's really good. Moving over to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing has this string, which is forward 2, 3, 3. It's one of his really common footsie tools. And his forward 2 is 16 frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the Swamp Thing do a forward 2, 3, 3 into a spaced out forward 2, 3, 3. Let me do that real quick. Whoops, that's Black Adam. Alright, so 4-2-3-3 into 4-2-3-3. Now, on paper, you would think that Black Adam would just be able to down one Swamp Thing in this scenario just to prevent Swamp Thing from doing that follow-up 4-2-3-3. But that's where frame data doesn't always mean what you think. So let me go ahead and show that real quick. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, it said punish there. So notice what happened. Basically what happened here is Black Adam's down one doesn't have the furthest range in the world. So Swamp Thing's follow-up forward 2 basically whiff punished my down 1. So what that basically means is just because you have a 6-frame poke, that doesn't always mean that you can just go and counter-poke everything that's minus left and right. Sometimes in specific scenarios like with Swamp Thing, you basically get outranged and your poke gets whiff punished because it's not about the frame data, it's the fact that your poke has to be long enough to be able to hit the other opponent before their string whiff punishes yours. So that basically raises a problem for Black Adam. If his down one is too short, then what does he do? Well, let's go ahead and look at his moves. Now, he has a standing one, which is his jab, but his jab doesn't have very long range, so I don't want to use that. His forward one is 8 frames, and it has much better range than his down one, so let's go ahead and try that out real quick. So in this case, the forward one, it's fast at 8 frames, and 2, it's long enough where it's able to prevent Swamp Thing from doing that follow-up forward 2, 3, 3. So that's a really good alternative to use as opposed to Black Adam's down one. But does that always mean that you can just forward 1, 2 Swamp Thing willy-nilly after you block a forward 2, 3, 3 from him? Well, not quite. And let me show you guys why. Now, if you're a Swamp Thing player, or if I'm a Swamp Thing player, excuse me, and I read that the Black Adam is always going to do forward 1, 2 after he blocks my forward 2, 3, 3, well, here's what I'll do. I'll do a forward 3, 3 with Swamp Thing, and then I'll do a down 1 right afterwards. So what does this do? This basically punishes the forward 1, 2 before it comes out by basically having the down 1 go under him and then launching the Black Adam for a full combo. So this basically sets up a guessing game against the... This basically sets up a guessing game between the two opponents, where it's just like, if you block a forward 2, 3, 3 from Swamp Thing, like, should you do a down 1, should you do a forward 1, should you do this move or that move, or like as a Swamp Thing player, like, when you do forward 2, 3, 3, should you do another forward 2, 3, 3, should you do a down 1? It's basically a rock, paper, scissors guessing game. Now, going back to Black Adam. So I, as the Black Adam player, read that the Swamp Thing is going to do forward 2, 3, 3 into down 1. Let me do that again. 4, 2, 3, 3, down 1. I, as the Black Adam player, am going to do a back 2 against the Swamp Thing. Now you might be thinking, wait, why would you do that? Black Adam's back 2 is 15 frames, Swamp Thing's down 1 is 7 frames. Like, how does that work? How does a 15-frame move punish a 7-frame jab? Well, again, frame data doesn't always mean what you think. It's not just about the frame data, it's about if your move is long enough to whiff punish the other move. And let me show you guys that. See? It turned out to be a punish there. Now, what basically happened there is really similar to what happened with Swamp Thing's 4-2-3-3 into a follow-up 4-2-3-3. My back 2, even though it's technically a slow startup move, it whiff punished the down 1 because it outranged it. Basically setting up a scenario where the frame data wasn't really relevant as much as it was one move outraging the other move. It's a really interesting concept, and it's a concept that's kind of difficult to explain in words from time to time. But like when you just see concrete examples that I showed right there, it kind of all slowly starts to make sense, and it basically, you know, peels off layers and layers of like metagame, you know, that basically deepen the overall meta of Injustice 2. And this isn't just something that applies to Injustice 2. This is something that applies to a lot of different fighting games. So this tutorial is useful, you know, going into any fighting games that have mechanics similar to this. Let me show you guys with another character. Let's do Black Adam versus Superman, a matchup that was really, really common in the first year of Injustice 1, and, you know, it's pretty common now, too. You know, they're two really, really frequently used characters. So Superman has his patented guessing game of 4, 2, 3 breath, and then you kind of have to guess what he's going to do afterwards. It's like another rock, paper, scissors game. Well, as the Superman player, I'm going to record myself doing 4, 2, 3 breath into down 1. Now, Superman players like to do down 1 a lot after 4, 2, 3 breath because it punishes Black Adams from doing forward 1, 2 afterwards, since it's a crouching attack going under a high. Well, Superman's down 1 is 6 frames. Now, I, as the Black Adam player, am going to do Black Adam's 15 frame back 2 against Superman's 6 frame down 1. Again, some people might be thinking, why would you do that? How could a 15 frame move possibly challenge a 6 frame move? It's frame data. It's math. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but frame data doesn't always mean what you think. It's about the range of the move, not just the frame data. And let me prove that to you guys. See that? The back 2 whiff punish the down 1, basically making the frame data concept irrelevant in this situation. So, as a Superman player, what do you do against that? Well, as a Superman player, if you read that the Black Adam is going to do a back 2, you can do... Whoops. Let me record myself as Superman again. You can do 4, 2, 3. Oh my god, I suck at trading mode. You can do 4, 2, 3 into immediate 4, 2, 3. So as a Superman, I'm going to do 4, 2, 3 breath into 4, 2, 3. And as the Black Adam, I'm going to try to challenge that again with back 2, just to show you, in that case, frame data actually matters. So, I'm going to set myself as Black Adam, and I'm going to record the Superman do 4, 2, 3 breath into 4, 2, 3 breath. So in this case, do you guys think Black Adam's back 2 can whiff punish the forward 2? Let's find out. See? It couldn't. And the reason is because Superman's forward 2 has a lot better range than his down 1. So in this case, my back 2 can't whiff punish the forward 2. So in that case, it's true, the 8 frame move will always beat out the 15 frame move. But in this case, if you're a Black Adam player and you read the Superman do 4, 2, 3 breath into immediate 4, 2, 3 breath, you can do down 1 afterwards. As such. Now what a lot of Supermans would do in this case is they can do 4, 2, 3 breath. They can do 4, 2, 3 breath into delayed 4, 2, 3. And in this case, again, the frame data doesn't really matter as much as it is the fact that an immediate 4, 2, 3 or a delayed 4, 2, 3 whiff punishes the down 1 afterwards. As such. As such. Now I'm going to show you guys an example with one last character. And that's going to be with Sub-Zero. A character that is very, very frequently either downplayed or upplayed. And I am one of the upplayers of this character because I hate fighting him. Even if I have a winning matchup against him like Aquaman, I still hate fighting him. Now Sub-Zero has this move, which is his down back 1, his Ice Burst. And the meter burn version is +3. And Sub-Zero's down 1 is 7 frames. So on paper, that means if Sub-Zero does an EX down back 1 into down 1, the opponent should, on paper, have to respect the down 1, right? Again, frame data doesn't always mean what you think, because watch this. Notice how the opponent gets pushed out of a range where the down 1 whiffs. So in that case, they don't necessarily have to respect the down 1 because it whiffs. Again, it's not about the frame data of the move, it's about the fact that the down 1 is too short to force the opponent to respect it. So in this case, what the Sub-Zero has to do is they would have to pick their next like fastest move, which would be like their forward 2, because it's 12 frames and a mid. So they would have to do something like EX down back 1 into a forward 2 to kind of create some kind of pressure situation. Now, not all characters get pushed out of the range of the down back 1. Aquaman is just one of the characters that does. But in this case, it's just another example of, even though the opponent is in a situation where the pressure is +3, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to respect all of their moves. It's just you have to study which moves will be able to hit you at a certain range or not, which in this case, the down one won't be able to hit Aquaman at that range. So these are just a couple of concrete examples of the situation. There are so many different examples in this game where if I just went through all of them, I would literally have like a 3 or 4 hour video. But what you guys should do is you guys should just pick a few characters which you guys suspect can emulate the situation and just try out some stuff in training mode. Because when you know all of your options in those specific situations, the rock, paper, scissors guessing game basically shifts into your favor because you know the specific Yomi options much better than the opponent does. I mean, characters like Black Manta, a lot of his block strings push you out, so in a lot of those situations, if you try to down one Black Manta, he might be able to whiff punish you afterwards, kind of like how Swamp Thing did earlier. There's just so many different examples, so that basically kind of lays down the foundation for you guys. That's all I have for today. If you guys liked the video, a like and subscribe will always be appreciated. And until next time with another Injustice 2 tutorial, I hope this makes this concept a lot more clear as day for you guys. Peace!